I have a book versus TV series for you today, which always takes a little bit more time to plan, but because of it being Christmas and what have you, I've managed to listen to the book and watch the series in the space of about 2 weeks. So welcome to another book versus movie video. Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel at least twice a week, and then movie reviews or books and movie content here at the weekend. But you have a bonus book versus movie video in the week for you today. All of my social links are in the description box below, including my blog and my Goodreads, so you can keep up with my reading in between times, and all of my reviews are always spoiler free. Before we get into this, as always, I will remind you that I am aware that when an author signs over the rights to their book for a TV show, a movie, just taking that character, I know that the things can be completely different, and I am never expecting a movie to sort of play out the same way as the book does, but I like looking at the differences and similarities and bringing them to you here. So today we are going to be talking about The Flight Attendant, which was just adapted into a 8-part TV show for HBO. The book, I would say, is definitely a thriller, and when it came out, I was seeing everybody on Bookstagram was reading this one, and I was definitely interested in reading it, but when they made it into a TV show, that's what gave me the push to read it. I did listen to it on audiobook, and if you want the side-by-side, here is the side-by-side of the book cover versus the adaptation cover, or the movie poster that you will see pop up on your streaming channels. I am not sure whether this one is streaming in the UK or not. I haven't looked into that. I feel like I probably should have done. I apologize. If you know if this is streaming somewhere or playing on a different channel in the UK, then let me know. I watched it on HBO Max. It was one of the reasons that I did a whole month of HBO Max this time around on there, just do a little free trial. But the series stars Kaylee Cuoco, who you will know from Big Bang Theory. She usually plays comedy parts, so it was interesting having her playing this straight part. As I said at the beginning, the book is definitely a thriller, but the series is being marketed as like a dark comedy, and I don't know if that is just because she is the main character in it and she is also a producer in it, and so they wanted to kind of like bridge that gap between her playing a comedy role to her playing a straight role. But the book is definitely a thriller, and I would say that the TV show is also a thriller. I don't remember laughing at any part of it. It's slightly more light-hearted than some thriller TV shows I've watched, but I think that's just because of the nature of the characters and the nature of the plot. So I would say that there are some fairly major differences with characters and setting between the book and the TV show. So if you're going in expecting this to be exactly the same, it's really not. Also because the fact that the TV show is like 8 episodes long, and each of those episodes is basically an hour, it's basically the same length as the book. So they've had chance to include lots of the little details from the book in the show, and so they've changed a few of those details and therefore made room to add some additional details. So again, spoiler free here, but the book is set in Dubai at the very beginning, where sort of things start to unravel, whereas the location for all of that in the TV show is Thailand, and so there's just that difference. But I don't think that has much of an impact on the actual storyline and much of an impact on the characters. And then we have Annie and Max, who are Cassie's best friends Annie is Cassie's best friend in the show, and then Max is her boyfriend and plays a part in the show. And in the book, that is very different from the lawyers / characters who help Annie out with her case in the book. So I think that the location change doesn't make a big difference, but the fact that we've changed Annie's friend and Cassie's friend to be Annie and her lawyer to be Annie does make a difference between the book and the TV show. But those are like major things that should be quite obvious from the trailers anyway, so they're definitely not spoilers. In terms of what I said before about the length of the TV show versus the length of the book, I feel like we get to know Cassie as a character more in the show than we do in the book. In both instances, it's the very kind of classic thriller crime thing of the unreliable narrator. You know, think Girl on a Train, think The Woman in the Window. The narrator is definitely unreliable, and I don't feel like we get as much of a window into the reasons behind why Cassie is this unreliable narrator in the book. We just know that she is, and things gradually start to build upon her character in the book, but we get to know a lot more about her probably quicker in the TV show than we did in the book, and then we get to see more of her kind of at home and with friends, and we get to see more of her and Alex in the show than we do in the book, which is, I think, an interesting choice, and I think it definitely works for television better than it works in the book. I think overall, because the book is a straight thriller, I think I definitely got more out of reading the book than I did out of watching the TV show, because I think they tried to put some bits in the TV show that were supposed to be funny to stick to this like dark comedy label, but they just didn't play out as funny, and also some of the details that they added were just very convenient, whereas in the book I think it was written a bit better in that the details that came out were a bit more clever and a bit more intriguing than in the series. I think the series was definitely trying to go for that, like, we want to reach as wide an audience as possible, which why wouldn't you? But by marketing it as a dark comedy and trying to put things in there that were supposed to be a little on the lighter side, it does just come off as a bit silly. And then there is a character who is kind of a key character to everything called Miranda, and we meet her very early on in the book, whereas they chose to have her be a bit of more of a mystery, and we don't meet her until later on in the series. And I thought that was an interesting choice as well, because meeting her earlier on in the book gave her a different dynamic as a character. So her character in the series, I think, was a lot darker than her character in the book. Whereas on the other hand, because we got to know more about Cassie in the series, her character is a lot more kind of like likable in the series than she is in the book. So it's interesting, the differences. This is probably one of the shows that has the biggest difference to the book that I've talked about recently, and so it was yeah, definitely interesting to note the differences. As I say, I would definitely prefer the book. It's not like the best thriller I've ever read, it's not the most shocking, everything's kind of laid out in quite a predictable way, but I do think the series was well cast. I sort of found the characters, including the sort of new additions or changes in characters, quite interesting to watch on the screen, and definitely I liked Annie's character a lot, and I thought that she was well cast as well. I definitely bought her as being Annie in The Flight Attendant and didn't ever see her as like Shoshana from Girls. And I'm a big fan of Girls, so that's testament to that actress and also the writing. But yeah, let me know if you have read the book, watched the show, what were your thoughts, and as always, if there is a book to movie or book to TV show adaptation you would like to hear my thoughts on, then let me know in the comments and I will endeavour to watch and share for you. I will be back with more bookish content for you in the week, so I will see you then. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that, and I will be back with more movie content for you at the weekend, so hit that notification bell. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and thanks for watching.